was a lot of chaos. And I think that this is becoming a pattern, especially with the PCW title scene.
Yeah, who's booking now? Is it Vince Russo?
Nah, we should be so lucky. That was a joke, by the way. Yeah, no. I don't know if it's more of the booking than just the roster going awry. I think people are climbing the ranks at this point in time, and people are claiming hold to titles, and it's causing chaos.
Mm.
Yeah.
So there was a time in PCW where Stuckey was the king, and that was kind of not well challenged. It seems like right now there's 10 guys on that roster that could vie for that crown. Is that right?
Yeah. Man, there is a fight for the top at this point. As we saw the last couple months, we had contender after contender come. Stuckey is knocking them down, but everything is coming to a halt at this point in time, especially after this past show.
In your opinion, what's going on with that? Is it too many chiefs, not enough Indians? Is it everybody wants a piece of the pie, or is it Stuckey holding on to his last straw?
No, I think it's something to where everyone wants to be the top dog. I mean, we're in WrestleMania season. WrestleMania season was full swing. Literally the night before WrestleMania, we were there and running a show, and what better way to make a name for yourself the night before WrestleMania.
That's right.
And
at the Falcon.
While we're talking about that, let's go into the first match, or the biggest match of the night, biggest story of the match, or of the night. Of course, Stuckey retained his PCW championship, but not until a DQ by a returning Edward Draven, who attacked both Skrilla and Dominic Stuckey.
So what's we'll get into it here in a minute with Dominic, but what's his story with Skrilla? I didn't know there was a history.
Yeah. So turn the page, it's funny that everything that's going on now is stemming from Turn the Page, and I think it's so ideal that that pay-per-view was called Turn the Page, or that show is called Turn the Page, because everything is a new chapter now, and that's what Stuckey promised. And so at Turn the Page, we had a bout between Skrilla and Draven, and of course, that did not end in Draven's favor. So yeah, and of course, Draven has been out for a couple of months, and I think he is realizing that he should be at the top at this point.
Quote the Draven, nevermore. So I saw the promos afterwards. Oh my goodness, both.
Yeah.
Both were irate, and they should be. So match started off. Was it how you expected it was going to start off, with so much bad blood between those two?
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, they came swinging. It was a brawl in the very beginning, and that's how it should be. When things are said like that, you want to make sure that my words are backed up by what I'm saying. I'm going to come in swinging. So that's what they both did, and it was a great match. I'm telling you, it was a great match up until that disqualification. I was looking forward to who won there.
Who had the upper hand?
You know what? I would say up until the point that of the disqualification, I think Skrilla was a little bit there. He would have won.
Even with the ring rust of Skrilla, he was holding his own.
I wouldn't even call it ring rust. I would call it just taking a break. He was on top for a while at several different promotions in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think he just needed a break, and he came in to collect his due. He was
Georgia Wrestler of the Year at some point too.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. He just came to collect his due, and it looks like time did not work in his favor because everyone wanted a piece of the PCW title, including Draven.
Yeah, it makes sense. Moving forward, is that setting up a three-way dance, or does there have to be a clear winner between Skrilla and Dominic?
You know what? I would think there has to be some type of receipt.
Yeah.
When it comes to Draven.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw what Skrilla and Stucky had said after the match, and they are heated at this point.
Oh yeah, I saw him kick a trash can, and I went, "Oh God, please don't hit one of the bikes."
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. But he was they're irate, and I think they're both gunning for Draven at this point in time. Now, the reaction from Draven to these posts, he's been nonchalant about it, and he's claiming his stake. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how they both handle it together, or they handle it individually.
Before the match, I believe it was that Wednesday or that Thursday leading up. I think it might have even been the day of the match. Dominic cut a promo on the Facebook, and one of my buddies sent it over to me. I don't have social media, believe it or not, and so they sent it over to me. And he called Skrilla an old man. And so I said, hey, look at Dominic's my guy. He's the first, one of the first wrestlers in PCW that I met. I really like Dominic, but Dominic hasn't been around me enough to know you don't call an old man and not expect to get your ass beat.
You know what's funny, and we'll get to this at the end of our segment, but I heard that somewhere else on another show, another big show, of someone calling someone an old man, and that old man did not walk out as champion of that show. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah. That's true. I've been called an old man too, and when the youngster was finished picking up his teeth, I think he realized this old man still has an Orrin Anderson-like left hand.
They'll learn. All right, let's go. I guess we're on the matches, man.
Oh yeah. So the second match, was Trey Shaw and CT, and from everything that I'm hearing, what an absolute brawl,
man. And you know what? I should have known the show was going to go the way it did at the start of the show because of this match. This is the first match of the show. And the ending, I mean, from my point of view, I saw what happened. But I guess the ref didn't. Of course, the ending of that match, Trey Shaw tapped out. But ref didn't see it, and CTE was pinned.
Was that the outcome that you were expecting in that match?
No.
I tap out while being pinned. I don't think anybody sees that coming.
No, not at all. And it's funny because, they know one another, right? They know exactly who they are because they're brothers. They were in the East Side Ronin together, so they should know each other. And I was surprised by Trey Shaw tapping out. He's ruthless, he's aggressive, and for him to give up, maybe this was a part of his plan. Maybe he did it on purpose. Yeah. CT, he didn't see it coming, and the words Trey Shaw had for CT after the match, it kind of foretold what might be happening going forward.
So that there's going to be they're going to run that back.
They have to. Yeah, there's no No doubt about that. Yeah, no doubt about
And the vignettes before were fascinating. It's going to be a fun one this
that.
spring
Yeah.
going into the summer to keep an eye on that one. I was a little apprehensive with Huck, one of my favorite wrestlers. That's somebody saying hello here. With Huck dropping the title.
Yeah.
I was a little apprehensive what was going on, but my goodness, what a great matchup.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting. I don't think CC was ready for that. I think he was ready to, you know, kind of pander to Huckabee to, wait for a title shot. But the fact that he had to face his brother, I think he wasn't ready for that swerve.
I'm with you. Every time I've ever faced one of my brothers, I've won, except for the times that I've lost. So I get that. I get that feeling as well. But what a great matchup to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I feel like an idiot. I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. For the last 2 weeks, I've been beating my chest and been telling everybody about a young man named Vanderbilt and how to keep an eye on him, about how he quite possibly is the future of Georgia professional wrestling. And
Hmm.
man, he cannot buy a win.
Man, I'm not shocked. I think Vanderbilt is letting the Book of Destiny get to his head. I think he is of course, with power comes great responsibility, and his responsibility is to stay focused. His mind is elsewhere, and I think with the introduction of ERC, who's a wild card, I think he can't predict what's going to happen next. You know, so yeah, I think he's losing his edge.
Do you think that's permanent? Do you think he's focused temporarily, has lost his focus temporarily, or do you think there's a deeper lining issue with him?
You can't tell, and that's the weird thing. You can't tell with that because even after the match, you saw frustration, but it wasn't a frustration like in I know better. It was a frustration like I don't know what to do. You know, so I'm very curious as to what happens.
Well, Mr. Vanderbilt, if you're listening, I have a solution for you. As you know, Mike, I am the least athletic person that's ever walked the face of the earth. But I do like sports. Yay, sports, right? Whether it be basketball, scoring goals in basketball, or shooting 3-pointers in baseball, right? I love sports in general.
I think it's the other way around, but we'll
Agree to disagree, Mike.
yeah,
Agree to
yeah,
disagree.
yeah.
But I love sports, and I took something, and I'm going to pass it on to Mr. Vanderbilt because I think this is very valuable, and I don't
Okay.
like being made a fool out of. I go on and say, "Hey, someone is great," and then they go and lay an egg in the middle of the ring. That makes me look like an idiot. That makes me lose the very little credibility that I have in the independent wrestling scene. They tell me, "Hey, go back and jump on your motorcycle and stick to motorcycles." I read that comment. I saw it. Shout out to whoever put that. But the point
Yeesh.
being, right? The point being, here's the story behind this, Mr. Vanderbilt. And you're an athlete. I'm sure you played other sports. Years ago, one of my best friends with the #1 draft pick in the college baseball, coming from college, he was drafted by the San Diego Padres, and the San Diego Padre AA affiliate at the time was in Las Vegas. Okay, and my buddies like me in Vegas with $1 million, what are you going to do, right? And so the inevitable happened. But there's such a thing in baseball that he passed on to me, and I'm passing it on to you, Mr. Vanderbilt. It's called a slump buster. Mike, are you familiar with what a slump buster is?
I am not.
Oh, I will share this with you. So in baseball, as in life, there's ups and downs.
Hmm.
And when you're in those downs and you're there for a while, you just can't get it going. You're losing matches that you shouldn't lose. You're fumbling projects that you shouldn't fumble. Just overall tasks that you should be nailing, you're not nailing. What do? Mr. Vanderbilt, a slump buster is you go find the ugliest young lady you can find. And I guarantee, I think it's the karma in it, she will get you out of that slump. Think about it. Maybe you'll win a match or two.
That's very interesting.
Yep, it's a real thing. It's called a slump buster. It's a real thing. I think
Wow,
I don't know, Babe Ruth invented it or something.
man, never heard that before. All right,
It's worth a Google.
I just might. Okay, all right. So your favorite guy. Let's talk about that, shall we?
My favorite guy. My favorite guy in PCW.
Yes.
Huck, how's he doing? Just was he on the couch? What's?
No, I did not see him this show, but I was talking about actually J. Alpha Miller.
Oh, good God.
So he accepted the open challenge for Jay Shaw in the CCDL title. I'm not surprised there. As you saw, Syndicate has been all over that title. They've been trying to get it back and bring it back to the camp.
That's right.
But was unfortunately unsuccessful and marred by his presence. Of course, was Mr. J Blaze, who said he would be there to watch the match, and he was. And he looked disappointed.
Disappointed in the outcome, or disappointed with the performance of J. Alpo Miller?
He wasn't even there for the outcome, which is the weird part. He left mid-match, but I think from what I saw from where I was, it was a thing of he got distracted. I don't know if you saw mid-match. Once J. Alpha Miller learned of Mr. J Blaze's presence, he got distracted, and then of course Jay Shaw took over.
Is it Big Brother looking over your back that makes you nervous?
It might be, and it's a thing of again focus. I think a lot of these guys, especially the ones that are losing focus. And honestly, especially leading up to the big nights, focus has to be a key, right? You got to be able to back up what you're saying. And J Alpha, of course, with Hakeem being not present, again, he didn't have someone to watch his back. And Quattro was out there, and of course Quattro got distracted again. And Sleepy wasn't there, but Sleepy's mask, his presence was there. It was felt. And I think that's what's catching Quattro. So I think people are talking about implosion in the Syndicate. By Mr. J Blaze's words the other day, I don't think it's implosion. I think it's calculated.
Do you think the play here by Mr. J Blaze in? I don't even know if you know him better than I know him, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody really knows him, hangs out. You don't exactly see him posting on Instagram, hanging out at Subway with the rest of the syndicate. But do you think his play, do you think there's some jealousy there?
That's a good question. I don't know, though. I think this is one of my I don't know moments. There's a lot to be answered there because I wouldn't say it's jealousy because, from Imikasa, it looked like everything, even with his loss of the CCDL title, Blaze understood exactly what was happening. He knew what was happening there. And you got to remember, every single member, except for the founder of CCDL, Quattro Cabezas, right. They have all been, CCDL champion at one point in time. So I think they're fighting for control. Yeah, I think it's something of control.
To me, the Syndicate are about as close to the Four Horsemen as there is in Georgia independent wrestling. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
definitely.
So if
And I think they're underrated.
I agree with you, I agree,
Yeah,
but I'm not going to say that because I was saying that Vanderbilt was underrated, and look what's happened with that. So I'm done with calling anybody underrated. If you're listening out there, I'm not telling you to watch anybody. Just watch who you want to watch because obviously I don't know anything. Uh, but I'm with you. They're very underrated. I think they are the Four Horsemen version for Georgia professional wrestling. Okay,
mhm.
and then having J. Alpo Miller in that group is like inviting Buff Bagwell to the Four Horsemen, right? You got Tully Blanchard, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Buff Bagwell. So you know, it could be. This is just my theory. Again, neither one of us knows what's going through Mr. J. Blaze's head.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
could be one of these moments where he's going, "All right, young man, you get on the mic, and what you say is gold. You run your mouth a little bit too much, and then you go out there and get whipped. So I think it's time to put down the mic, pick up some weights, and win a match and stop losing."
Mm. Harsh words.
Yeah, not a fan of
Yeah,
J. Alpo Miller.
yeah. I think I've seen that. I've seen that.
I've
All
tried to
right, so
hide it. I've
momentum.
tried to hide it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Momentum. All right. Let's talk about who's gaining momentum, who's losing momentum. I have my thoughts on this. I'm curious to hear yours first.
So again, beating a dead horse, who does not have momentum, goes without saying. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think Quattro, who is about as talented as the wrestler on that roster, is completely distracted with that grown ass man. I think that's going to end up biting him.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as momentum, and it is hard to argue Jay Shaw not having all the momentum in the world after winning that title, right? I mean,
Mm,
it's you know he won that title in a spectacular, very emotional match,
yeah.
and then he defends his title uh, by hook or crook, defends his title and successful against one of the most talented wrestlers in the world today. Did I just say that out loud? We'll cut that out.
He'll clip it. He probably already has it. Yeah. So with all the chaos that's going on at this point in time, I don't think anyone has momentum.
Nobody at all. Not even Stuckey,
No.
right? Stuckey can't finish a match. He's
Yeah.
got everybody coming left and right trying to come after his title.
And that's the thing. It's a thing of everyone is fighting for the title picture, and it's so hard to keep that moment. Even when you win a match, there's an asterisk, you know, against that win for every single match. So when there's an asterisk next to your name, it's hard to say that, you know, I am a clear winner. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
so I'm looking forward to see how every person on the roster etches their name there and puts a stamp on. Okay, I am the better wrestler. I am, for lack of better words, reaching that ring, um, breaking the glass ceiling, and stomping my name in, you know, in the PCW roster. Again, all these talents I'm mentioning are all over Georgia. Um, we haven't even seen half of the roster. You know, they're bigger names and names that have taken hiatus or have been in the background that haven't really been in that picture yet. And I know that they're coming. So especially coming in the summer months, pun intended. Uh, yeah, I think
Big
a
show
lot
in
of the
July.
yeah. I think a lot of the wrestlers, not just in PCW, but other promotions, are going to be vying for the top spot.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
you're thinking there's a surprise on its way.
I think so. There's no surprise. I mean, again, we just finished WrestleMania season. What happened after WrestleMania? The Raw after WrestleMania. So I think we're in for a lot of big surprises.
Fun. So moving forward, this is not on our agenda to talk about. Who do we need to look out for? Right? In your opinion, who's going to make the biggest splash this summer?
You know, even though we are saying he's not, he's not winning, I kind of agree with you. Nate Vanderbilt. He has a group around. He has heavy hitters around him. I definitely think, although he's on the slump, once he focuses and he puts all into the Book of Destiny and cashing in that title, or whatever title it is, I think he's the guy to look after this summer.
So you think he needs to put down his Book of Destiny and pick up his Black Book and go through his Rolodex and find a slump buster and get this over with and go after bigger things? I think that's what I heard you say.
No, that's not what I said. But yeah. I think we're meeting there. I think we understand what we're saying.
Yep. I'd like to see that as well. If you had one person, you're going to go with Vanderbilt. You're going to say this is the summer of Vanderbilt.
Yeah. I think this could be. I will also say another guy. He's at the top of the food chain at this one time, Dominic Stuckey. I think this is the summer to Stuckey as well. I think both those guys, not even with the title, I think just performance-wise, I think they're going to put on a show wherever they go.
You're talking about Stuckey and
Stuckey and Vanderbilt.
Oh, Stuckey
and Vanderbilt. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that. That's a nice dynamic. That is a wrestler who should be on the up and coming, and that's a wrestler who has been on top for a while.
Yep. I agree.
I like it. So let's be honest, Mike. Before we get into what's here on the agenda with WrestleMania 42, how did you think the second show, the third show at the Falcon? How do you think that went?
Oh, I think it went well. Again, we are building something great. I see us moving in that direction, and it was cleaner. Although the thought for this show was nothing was really clean, but the production wise, being able to move forward, we had a great team this time, and it just shows in our partnership. We're learning each other. We're learning exactly how we move, what's needed, and as we go along, I think this is going to get a lot more cleaner, a lot more easier to maneuver. We had a good crowd, great crowd. I love that we were able to kind of just bounce off each other, and I look forward to seeing more. Yeah.
Is the Falcon becoming the home of the PCW? Is that why you're feeling more comfortable?
Oh yeah. It definitely feels like that, and I'll tell you, I get pulled aside from the fans all the time, and they love the space. They love being there. They love the energy that fills the room, and I love that, being able to provide that for them. We had a couple special guests there. Shout out to the AJC, Anderson. We had a couple of good guys there. Came to see the show for the first time. Vetix, of course, always provides tickets for our veterans and our first responders, and we had a lot of repeat customers, people that came ever since Turn the Page. They've been back since then. So yeah, good crowd.
Good.
Yeah.
Mike, you didn't know this, but I had a spy there. Again, not cleared by the doctors to go anywhere but here, the studio, and the hospital. That's a real thing. But I did have a spy there who was sending some video. I've got a couple videos. One of them is real good. I want us to throw that on there right now. Let me see if I get. There we go. It's coming up right now. Yeah, as you see, that's a good video there. I don't really see anything in the ring. So thank you to the production crew for sending this to me. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but I told you I'd use it on the next Fallout podcast. So I appreciate it. Maybe the next show for sure. I'll be able to come and obviously take a better video than this. But I'm glad everybody all the fans are enjoying it. Hey, Mike, I got a surprise for you here. I'm going to pull it up and read it real quick. Okay.
All right.
It
Cool.
is so for the next show at the Falcon, we have a gift. You know what that gift is?
What is it? Curious.
Air conditioning.
Oh,
so we'll have air conditioning for the next event. I'm excited about that. Probably as much as everybody.
Yeah. And you know what? Even with the little hiccups, we still had a packed house. They loved it. So I am grateful for that one.
Well, that's how I grew up. Obviously, we've talked about this before. I'm older than you.
Yeah.
But we would go to gymnasiums where there was no air conditioning at all.
Yeah.
That was just something that would happen. You just understood that in the nights in Mexico are a little bit cool. It's probably frankly cooler at night outdoors. Over Canada than it is inside of a gym. But we've all, sweat 300 pounds of sweat in a weekend. That's nothing unusual. But yeah, air conditioning makes things a lot better. Speaking of blowing hard, Mike, WrestleMania 42.
Oh man! All right. Yeah. What do you think? I'm very curious. We had a couple conversations amongst the team. At PCW Academy at our training school, we had a little thing that we did to kind of break down the matches, and I saw a lot of interesting takes. I want to go back to our results at some point. I forgot what I chose. I think my choice was similar to what I said, but yeah. What do you think?
I think one person stole the show, Mike. I think if it wasn't for Roxy Perez, that whole show would have escaped my mind, and I never would have watched it. I thought that was the greatest thing in WrestleMania. If not, it was 42 for sure, but maybe in the history of WrestleManias. If you didn't have a chance, go watch. What a great distraction. I was distracted. That's how good of a distraction it was. Liv Morgan, right? This is where I'm not going to be wrong, Mr. Vanderbilt. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez is going to happen. I hope they play this out longer. I hope it's next year's WrestleMania. I don't know what they're going to do with Stephanie after this. Does she go to the blue brand and also the young lady with the mascot? What's her name? The one from Australia that everybody thinks is great and reminds Triple H of China. What's her name? The one that's got the strap now. She beat Jay Cargill. Yeah. Okay. So my understanding is Rhea Ripley and Stephanie Vaquer are both going to be in the blue brand. Okay. Is that how you understand it as well?
I know Rhea for sure, and of course being a champ of that show. Stephanie, I'm not sure of.
What do you do
Yeah,
with her on Raw now? What do you do?
yeah,
Is there immediate rematch at Backlash, and then Liv goes over and kills any kind of momentum that she's been building all year while Liv was out?
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Because and mainly because of the fact that well, one, there's no rematch clauses for the belts
right.
technically. Um, but yeah, her being there is is up in the air. Um, because right now I think everyone else is so focused on everything else. Like for example, I would love to see her and Asuka go at it. Love to see her and Io go at it. Um, but that title around Liv, I think Liv is going to hold on to that title for a little bit more. And honestly, you're saying Roxy, I'm saying Raquel. I think Raquel deserved that title.
Shout out to the Valley.
Yeah, I definitely think she deserved that title. Especially her going back and forth with the care. I actually was interested to see exactly what happened with those two. And for it to get cut short a little bit by Liv's, I guess, distraction and take over the belt. I'm looking to see how the Judgment Day moves forward. After this removal of Finn. And honestly, I think Finn is about to take out every member one by one.
This is off to a good start. I
Yeah.
think he's done now, right? So he took out Dom, and then he
Yep.
takes out the one with a big head.
Yep.
As far as male members of the Judgment Day, that's it. Unless we bring in Ron Killings, and yeah,
Yeah. I think he plays a part in Liv's loss of the title at some point because Liv made a bold claim at the when I was catching up the shows. I remember seeing this. She said she didn't like Finn from the very beginning, and she was the one that told everyone to get Finn out. So I think I built it. I'll destroy it.
there's just no creative direction for Finn Balor. It's kind of sickening because he is very, very, very talented.
Yeah.
It's almost like Junior is running WWE again in the 90s, and keeping the belt off of a smaller frame guy.
Yeah.
I think the world of Finn Balor. I think the world of JD McDonough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the creative direction for both of those guys is inept.
Yeah. Um.
So for you, right? So I say that not
Yeah.
jokingly. You know me well enough to know that I'm not joking when I say that for me, Roxy Perez stole the show. That's absolutely what happened for me.
Yeah.
The rest of the matches, honestly, man, the six pack. Having Rusev in there was interesting. I think that
Yeah.
was a good
Yeah.
move.
Hmm.
That was a good match.
Yeah. Loved it.
Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Now that you're caught up with the Pat McAfee storyline, you see what I'm talking about. It was just, I mean, both of the main events were just confusing for me. I really wasn't following what's going on. So you're building up for a few weeks, right? Hey, wrestling has more than one royal family, and you're
Hmm.
thinking, good God Almighty, Cowboy Bob Orton is coming back. I was happy about that. I was excited. I'm an old school cat. I was very excited. Hey, it could be Ric Flair. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, and so you're thinking of all these royal families
Hmm.
of wrestling. You know what? Off the script, give me, besides the Rhodes, besides the Flairs, besides the Bloodline, give me three families that you would consider to be wrestling royalty.
Hmm. Um. Off the top of my head, Guerreros. Yeah. That's one. Um. Said no Rose, no Orton, no.
Oh, no, put Orton. You can put Orton.
Okay.
So Guerrero
Orton's another one.
Guerrero's and Orton, yep.
Yeah, and I mean Mysterios.
I like it. I like every
Yeah.
single one of those. I would add the Wyndhams in there, or the
Oh
Rotundas.
yeah, definitely,
But
definitely.
the Wyndhams for sure. Again,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
partial to my peoples.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So any one of those, you could have thrown in there, and I would have been absolutely ecstatic. But they went Pat McAfee, and I
Yeah.
get it. I get what they're trying to do. So you got I Show Speed. You've got what's the thick
Ball.
Newton looking guy? What do they call him? Jelly Donut.
Jelly Roll, yeah.
Jelly Roll. And
Mm-hmm.
then you've got uh, oh my goodness, help me out here because I think
The
it's
Paul family.
Paul. Logan Paul is not
Mm-hmm.
one of these influencers that doesn't put in work. I've heard this firsthand that he outworks everyone. And I Show Speed, that was impressive. The splash off the turnbuckle onto the announce table, that takes real athletic prowess. So he's putting in his work. Local boy was also involved in that match. Shout out to the Vision, but it was odd with Pat McAfee playing that role and then taking the RKO. Very hard to follow the whole thing.
Yeah. I felt the same way.
I wish Orton would have taken the belt.
Same here.
And then whoever you listen to, you hear that was the direction that they were going, and that was audible at some point. It'd be interesting to see if that's the truth, or I think Meltzer even said that the plan was up until WrestleMania Saturday that Orton was going to take the strap.
Yeah, for me, the two main events. Someone said this the other day or yesterday when we were training. But the true main event is, of course, Sundays, right? But going off of the script, I think the Rhodes, Orton, and the Punk Reigns matches, they had the potential to be great matches. Very, very high potential to be great matches. It's just the chaos in between it didn't make sense. For me, match of the night, I would say, or the nights, I would say, highlight to the 6-way ladder match, right? That was a great match. Story-wise, of course, because I'm all about story. I love the story for the main events. It wasn't underwhelming. It was not what I thought it should have been. You're right. I think the Orton match, for me, I was very confused because they teased the whole thing of a back injury with Randy, and then it seemed like the fans switched, and Randy was the good guy and Cody was the bad guy, and then it switched again, and then it just was all over the place for me. I really wish Orton would have won. I think we saw a change that could have, a potential change that could have happened, and that didn't happen. And then the Punk and Reigns match. The reason why I loved the match was because there was no outside interference. I talked about the asterisks earlier. When you think about Roman, there's a lot of asterisks next to his name because of how he won these matches leading up to his final demise at WrestleMania against Cody. But this one, he won clean. And I'll say that because in the middle of the match, and again, I was told that, this is WrestleMania, so referee discretion.
They're going to let it go. Yeah.
But he hit the guy with the steel steps while the ref was watching. And the ref didn't say anything.
It's NBA Finals. The ref's going to let things go. But, yeah. I'm with you. I thought that was a good decision. I would have let that go as well. No, nobody's calling me and Nick Patrick to ask us our opinion, but I would have let that go as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I mean, again, logistically for me, it's like, oh, the logic has to make sense, but wrestling doesn't make sense sometimes, and I have to learn. It's one thing I'm learning as we go along. So, yeah, overall, the Knights, they didn't feel like a WrestleMania thing. They had it had the potential to be a lot more, and I think with the addition of these ads in between, which I never understood it because we're on ESPN and Netflix. Those are ad-free softwares. So, yeah.
It's the business aspect of it, right? So
Yeah, I get it.
there's a saying that goes, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. So TKO paid an ungodly amount for the WWE. Okay, your chicks have come home to roost at this point. So you've got to recoup that money because it is a business. They didn't buy it for the love of the sport. They bought it to get more money than they already had. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when does raising the ticket price, putting in ads on the canvas, which was not a new thing.
No,
Victoria
not.
and Corona had that on numerous
Yeah. Yeah.
Mexican promotions all across, even in the late '80s and early '90s. I remember that. I remember how slippery things were. When you put down something, a layer on top of a canvas, so you got a worn in canvas, and then you've put an overlayer of advertisement,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
on the four
Yeah.
corners, right,
Yeah.
and you're slipping around like it's a skating.
Yeah.
But the technology has advanced, so that's not an issue anymore. But that's not a new thing. But you're adding all those components, and you're right. You get advertisements on the rings. You get advertisements not just between matches, right? TBS, when Eric Watts was in charge, not Eric Watts, Bill Watts, excuse me.
Yeah.
When Bill Watts was in charge, there was no cutting to commercial in the middle of a match. It was between the matches, of course. Okay, and you can kind of time it on how long that match was going to be based on that. But there was no, going right into a commercial in the middle of a match which is uber disrespectful. It could really get somebody
Yeah.
hurt because the pace does slow down even in front of the live studio audience
Of course.
or the fans.
Yeah.
And then you've got that. It is all compounded with, hey, we're paying a premium for these premium live events, where it be Peacock or famously known as the Cock, Netflix, and ESPN. Okay, so here's the question, though, right? This is me playing devil's advocate, but just understanding the business side of it as a promoter, as a manager. You'll understand this too. Would you rather pay $69 a month for ad-free events, or would you rather pay for a channel that's going to still be on for the other 27 to 30 days a month that has other content, and have to put up with the commercials?
On the business side, so you gotta think about it like this, right? If I am thinking, with my business hat on, I want to put my product somewhere where everyone, even those that may not be looking for, my product, to find my product, right? And that's why for me the Netflix, merger made sense, because I could be scrolling through Netflix and then all of a sudden I see I'm thinking about just a regular fan has, because I've heard this a lot in the last few days, a fan that has not watched wrestling in years, and it just so happened to be WrestleMania, and it's on Netflix, and I'm able to watch it because I have Netflix, right? As opposed to me, a wrestling fan, looking for ways to purchase this particular show, like we did in the 80s and 90s, looking for that particular show. So, yeah, I mean, it makes business sense to have it on a platform like Netflix, like ESPN, like Peacock, just so that I can go back to it and say, hey, this is what I used to love this. Let me just watch it, see how it is, you know. And there's fans that would watch like, it's not the same as it was before, or oh wow, this is new. When they start doing this, because I've heard both. So I would definitely go for the platforms.
So you'd put up with the commercials and the advertising, and the steep ticket cost, just for the pure convenience.
Yep.
I'm with you. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I understand.
I hate commercials. I nothing that I have, I pay the premium, so I don't have to deal with commercials. I don't like it.
DM me, and I will maybe. I have a solution for watching it international where you don't have to put up the commercials.
Gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna cut it here a little bit because I think we have the same thought on WrestleMania on how we saw it. So I want to touch on how it impacts Georgia wrestling. I saw a post earlier from Jonathan Gresham, and he was talking about independent wrestling as a whole. And I think this is the moment. Again, I talked about in the last podcast episode. This is the moment of the reset, right? A lot of the independent wrestlers are coming back from these shows that were done in Vegas.
Yeah. And
now their names are out there. Their names are popping up everywhere. What do you do with that momentum going forward? This is the moment where I should be seeing promos. I should be seeing the creative juices flowing at this point, because now you were around wrestlers from all over the world, not just in your state. You were in a place where everyone was there.
Correct.
And you were able to have access to everyone. Shout out to Lodestone. Oh man, I don't know if you heard of it, but I love that project that Bailey's doing, to where she brings out girls from all over, the world, and they're able to share ideas and grow and develop. I would love for that to be, both sides, male and female, someone on the male side to start that project and do that. But it's a great idea. I mean, now you're coming back. This is the night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Juices is flowing. What do you do next? I urge independent wrestlers at this point, promotions at this point, to move the ball forward. And of course, our goal at PCW is to move that ball forward, is to grow not only PCW but Georgia wrestling. So I'm hoping that this kind of gets the juices flowing for not only us but everybody else, and we turn that competitive streak on a little bit. But while in doing so, working together to grow this business.
I'm with you, and it's not evening up the platform; it's elevating the platform.
Yes,
it's you've got a great product. Okay, great product, great talent. Okay, and that's not just PCW, and I'm glad you brought that back. Again, I have a bias for PCW. PCW is in my backyard. Okay, but as a fan, you're right. There's a bunch of talent in Georgia that needs to be elevated. Yeah. And where is that platform that elevates that talent in the state of Georgia?
You know what? There is not one place I can say that. I mean, of course, floor is open for PCW. Of course, Dominic always says this. It's the land of opportunities. You know, you're able to meet and talk to some of the guys from older years. Those that have built the foundation of Georgia wrestling, and you have Wrestle America, you have Kraken, you have CCW, in you have so many different places that you can grow from in Georgia. Um, there's so many opportunities, and you'll mix and mingle with the best of them. It's just about, again, growing, pushing not only yourself but pushing other talent. If you're in that fight, if you're in a match with someone and it's their turn to move forward, help them go forward, because you're tied to that, regardless of whatever it is you're thinking. You're tied to that. You're tied to that promotion. Although it's independent, but we're all working together to move the Georgia scene forward. Think about it. I mean, if we can just sit back here in a year, talk about Stucky or Skrilla or Vanderbilt in one of these top promotions, NXT, AEW, whatever the case is. Think about how that looks for Georgia wrestling as a whole.
Yeah.
Hunter James is another one. Think about all that, all those names, moving forward to bigger lights. That just makes Georgia wrestling a lot better, and I hope to be on the forefront of that, to be able to kind of build these new stars, build these new wrestlers, and move them forward.
I'm with you, Mike. Mike, always a pleasure. Until next time. But before we go, we got some shows coming up. Tell us about those shows that are coming up.
Yeah. Of course, May 3rd, we have a show. Back at Night Hour, back at our home ground, I guess you can say, where our foundational ground. And then May 15th, we're back at home ground at Falcon Fury.
Yeah, at the Falcon with air conditioning. Yep. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Can't wait for that.
Good stuff, Mike.
That won't be the main event. That will be the main event, air conditioning.
Yes, the air conditioned was it's brutal. It was absolute brutal.
Yeah.
But
it's wrestling.
Yeah,
yeah.
Get it fixed and move on. Nobody remembers it.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I appreciate it. Looking forward to chatting with you next week. We'll go over the events that passed. And will this be a Night Owl edition after the next Wednesday? Will that be a Night Owl edition? Close to it. Yeah, close to it. We'll cover those matches. Looking forward to it.